Who are you?
The physical level, I'm your grandmother. But the real reality is I'm just a thought. And whatever I think, that's what I am, which is all the time changing. But my understanding of reality is not changing at all. And that's the real me. But my face, which appears to the world, is just like a mask. So you can always change it. Put another one, even if you don't put, it changes anyway by the time you get old, and then you suddenly disappear. So who's that person that was thinking, it's a mystery. So I am just a mystery, really. That even I don't know. For every human being, it's the same. We believe that we are something, but it's just a belief. Because if it's changing the next day, then what's the reality about? So are we only thoughts? Maybe that's all we are. When you take the thought away, what is left there? Emptiness. So maybe we are emptiness then. Thoughts, I mean, I can go on and on.
Yeah.
That's really such a deep question. There is no end.
What thing have you spent the most time doing?
I love doing Qigong. It trains your patience, your tolerance to life. It teaches you not to react, but just watch what you're doing, watch your thoughts. So it's an opportunity when you're standing like that. You would be constantly seeing your thoughts, where they are going to. You know, they would be complaining, why am I doing this? Oh, I'm getting too tired. How long am I going to stand like this? Chatter, chatter, chatter. And then suddenly, if you keep on going, it took me 3 months, and then one day I realized I can stand there and no chattering. So only afterwards, wow, how long time passed? I had no idea, because nobody was there to think about anything.
What job or activity did you dislike the most, and why?
9-to-5 job. I felt like a battery chicken, sitting in an office, four walls, and stuck. You know, it's not human. You know, not really right for human nature to be like that. Or looking at a computer screen all the time. That's really a soul-wrecking job, I think. I like the freedom to be moving out, relationship with other people, face to face. Even it could be cutting hair. Somebody's, and it's beautiful, you know. You create, you make them look beautiful. It has so many enjoyable benefits.
What was a memorable period of your life?
Probably starting with hippie movement, which was worldwide, it was global. Everyone was searching for something different than what was going on, and full of love and sharing, peace and supporting each other and happy. And we all knew that was going to pass, so we really enjoyed every moment of it, like the world will not stay like this, because this is too good to be true. So it did. And then different times, then I thought it's time to have some children. And that was beautiful. I mean, really very memorable to be with, watch them grow and enjoy every moment of it.
Have you ever had your heart broken?
A lot. Again, you have to be philosophical about it, because it's inevitable. If you're a human being, your heart is there to be broken. And Sufi says, only if there is a crack, then the light could come in. So that's your connection to your God, and that heartbroken has a value.
How did you deal with that?
As I just said, that accepting, and there must be a reason for it. So trying to find why, what do I gain out of this? Everything comes with lots of benefits, always, but to be able to see the positive side of some things only comes later on, not in the moment. While you're suffering, you can't be, of course, enjoying that. But once it's past, you just look back and say, well, I gained a lot of maybe patience, maybe unconditional love. It must have taught you lots of things. If it didn't leave you a hatred and grudge and all that negativity, if you didn't go that path, then there's always some positive you could see, maybe, because it's a very difficult thing. Maybe not. So what? Okay.
What do you want to be when you're older?
I'm already old. What do I want to be? A good Qigong teacher. Yeah, and I would love to see my students who are really getting better with some of the elderly people I taught, and they could in the beginning could hardly find their balance, and then they ended up taking their one leg. They could stand on their one leg and do things, which I was so happy to see, that people improve whatever age they are. So that's why I love Qigong, because it's very gentle. Anybody could try, and I recommend everyone.
What's your relationship with the concept of God?
It needs to be a continuous relationship, really. It's very abstract, so you can't put it into words. For each person, it's a total individual inner journey and connection with your source. And in nature especially, you find that much easier to connect that, which is the infinite, in my understanding.
Have you ever had problems with depression or addiction?
Yes, there are times I felt very depressed, very hopeless, and what's the point of living, asking all these kind of questions. But it's good to remember that these, like everything else, there's always, after the night, there's a day, night, day. So it's gonna be, as long as life goes on, the things change, there's always hope. So when there is hope, then the depression eases. I think that's the best remedy for it. It is a pain, like depression is almost kind of a physical pain almost, but it's not physical, of course. It's the soul is suffering, so it's better to try in grasping something out there, getting a medicine, or trying to numb yourself. One needs to see how, okay, can I go on, see how much I can go on, and of course asking help from your higher self, whatever your belief, Jesus, Christ, God, anything. So spiritual help is always very important. depression is better without trying to numb yourself, because there must be some lesson there that we need to learn. So if you can find the courage in you to face it and stay with it, feel the pain totally until it exhausts itself, and then you start finding yourself lifted up again. But only you need to live it, all of it, whatever that heavy dark cloud, let it all rain, and then it will pass. If you try to escape here and there, oh, let's get the alcohol, let's get this antidepressant pills, then it's like pushing all the dust under the carpet. That doesn't clear itself at all. So it moves somewhere else, then you make yourself ill physically. But of course there are some depressions you may need to really serious help. Go and ask help. Yeah, do everything you can, but at the same time, there is sometimes escape is not a good answer, and we always try to stay away from the pain. So push the pain away, go for the pleasure, stay in the neutral if you can. That's what I find most healthy.
You comment that in terms of addiction, you've had no problem, but
I
few
think
questions before, you answered that one of the most memorable periods of your life was the hippie movement. So how was that relationship with drugs in that time?
that was much more innocent than today's drugs. So I didn't see many people who were addicted amongst my friends, unless they went into heavy, junkies and so on. But nobody, I think mostly everyone managed to come out of everything and clean itself. Only one or two who were, maybe difficult ones, who couldn't deal with their difficulties. But addiction, I believe it's more or less in your genes, and if you are coming from an addictive family, it could be not only drugs, but it could be addiction to food, it could be addiction to other things. So even addiction to sugar is a big one, people don't see that as an addiction, but it's a very unhealthy thing, difficult to stop.
Have you had children?
If I didn't, how would I have a grandson like you?
So why did you decide to have children?
Oh, that's the meaning of my life, isn't it? As a mother, I think that's what one feels. Really, that was, otherwise just living for yourself is a bit too selfish. Children teaches you, it's the biggest spiritual lesson. Once your child is born and you realize you can't say, oh, I'm not playing this game, bye-bye. You are stuck there and become a slave, you give up everything and you only live for that other screaming little baby, whatever his or her needs comes first, and so that's the biggest killing of your ego, so it's great. Sounds a bit masochistic, but
No, I love that. How do you face death and think about it?
Yeah, for so many years I kept thinking of death. It was a bit too much, actually, for a while. And then I did the whirling dervish meditation, which is really, it's the dance of the dying, the ego, dying, death of ego. And then after that, I felt like such a lightness. So death is nothing. Death is okay. It's the struggle on this life is more difficult. And whereas, because we are scared of the things we don't know, and nobody knows what death is. And I had a teacher who used to say, unless you know what life is, then you can also learn what death is. Because it's the other side of the coin. Life and death is just like, how can I say? I mean, when my first child born, I realized, as if, because I was an actress, and in the theater, you wait here, come to the stage, you act out, you come out this way again. So it was like that. Life was here on the stage, and just before, wherever you were, you go back there again after that, when you finish your act on the stage. So it was nothing to be scared in a way, in that way. And also, while on this stage, while you're acting, if you don't take everything seriously and really devastating, I mean, you should just say, okay, this is just another play. I'm just acting this role now, and it's gonna finish. Once you are aware of that, you don't feel like, oh, I'm dying,
I love that. What is your bliss?
Wow. Yeah, I have to remember all my blissful moments. When you really feel you are accepted by your God. That's I could maybe simplify it like that, one sentence, because that moment, you are so free and happy. It's more than happy. There is no word for it. That's bliss. As if you don't need anything else. You got everything you want.
At what age did you leave Turkey?
27.
You went to live in England.
Yeah.
How was that transition?
Not very easy. Leaving all my friends, my job, my family, my country where I enjoyed so much, the weather, the food, the lifestyle, lots of connections, and suddenly I find myself, nobody I know around me except my husband, and I have no job, and I have a child to look after, can't do anything else, trapped. So, and the food different, the weather is so, I remember about nearly 2 months, not once there was no sunshine. In those days, 1981, it was so difficult for me not to have sunshine. But nowadays the climate changed, and there's plenty of sunshine in England now. It's great.
What was your first impression of English people?
I really thought they never show their emotions, and it was so different than the Turkish was. I thought they don't feel any emotions, but they were hiding it. I think they have emotions, but they have such an ability not to show it. Whereas in Turkey, everything is out there, nothing. They are unable to keep calm like an English person. Very, very neutral face. And it took me really for a while to adapt that. And then, but now, I'm talking about 43 years ago. So now I came to Istanbul now, and looking at people, especially in the tube, in the trains, people just like English people now, very kind, quiet, try not to have an eye contact with each other, and wow, this must be the tube culture, Because as soon as the tube appeared in Turkey, now people behave just like in England. Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. How was life before mobile phones?
Yeah, I think mobile phones became such an addiction. It's a bit dangerous almost because it's an addiction. Before we didn't feel the need of it, some reason. We were okay without it. Now you can't be without it. Is it I mean, I'm not sure if it's very good for you, to be that attached. And it makes you upset if you don't have it. That's not right.
Yeah. How have social interactions changed?
It became more distant. Yeah, people lost the value of being with somebody, looking into their eyes and really energetic exchange. That's getting lost slowly, which is a very sad situation, I think.
It's strange because the mobile phone was sold to us with the idea that it would help us communicate more. And from your own experience and from many others, it seems like it's having the opposite effect.
Yes, if you know the real communication, which is not just through a machine, but you're really living, and another living person there with all your smells, your 5 senses you can use to exchange this energy. That's you can hear. I mean, everything is. You can touch. You can kiss. You can hug. I mean, the other one is what? It's a trap. Like you can't go over. It's cutting you off from reality. It's only a screen. Too sad. Yeah.
Edda, could you give me a song that you keep close to your heart?
Hotel California. Today we took a taxi and that was playing, which is so good. In Turkish radio you hear that, but in England I hardly hear that song at all. The other I love this song is Stand By Me.
Beautiful. Well, Edda, love you very much.
Love you too.
And thank you for the interview.
Thank you.